Hey folks, welcome back for more Palworld, and we are in the settings screen because there's a couple of things that I want to make a note of. Maybe some things you may not know. I just discovered this today, and I was really interested in sharing it with you because I'm really curious about your thoughts on it. Have you tried these settings? One particular thing that I want to make note of was right here. Maximum guilds. No, that's wrong. Here we go. Maximum number of bases for each guild. So the guild, meaning yourself, will affect processing overhead. So typically you would have, I think it's three bases. I think is the vanilla. It might have been pushing 4 now. Either way, you can have up to 10 PAL boxes in your world. So that means teleporters, more fast warps to different areas. That means more bases that you can think of. If there's a base that you really like or an area that you like, but you ran out of PAL box use, you can increase this to 10 and have that available to you. It says will affect processing overhead, and I think that's a very important thing to note. I think these two settings, so this affects how many PAL boxes you can have. Granted, you will have to upgrade to meet 10, and this one is maximum of work PALs at the base. You can have, I think the vanilla is 15, but you can have up to 50, which is pretty wild. These caveats are here because I think that this mode is still pretty experimental. That and perhaps the game is just not well optimized enough to really take into account 10 fully well-built PAL box bases, you know what I mean? In the case of how many PAL boxes you can have and how many PALs that you can have per base, I think these caveats exist because it is quite experimental. As we know, the game is still really early on in its development. I think this is still an experimental feature, but I think it is really cool that the devs allow you to even have this feature. So while this may get in the way of playing multiplayer and multiplayer servers, if you're playing single player and you have the rig to run this, and if you're, not too opposed to a few crashes here and there, if the game is not well optimized enough to account for all these details, if you're playing single player and you take into account all those caveats, run this. Why not? Why limit yourself? I mean, of course you would want to do so for certain challenges and stuff like that and to play vanilla settings. But I mean, there are certain things about the world right now that are kind of uneven. For example, like where all the fast teleporters are and where they're not. I think now I've gotten many hours in this game at this point. I'm starting to see a trend where I think there's a lot of fast teleporter spots that are not as well fleshed out or thought out on the map, and the map is gigantic, and there'll be instances where you'll see a lot of fast teleporters on an island concentrated in a zone, whereas in some areas that they're not. For example, I mean, an easy example would be like the boss tower areas. There's one on top of the tower, there's one below it normally, and you're just like, why? Why is that the case? Now you can make the argument that some people will walk to the tower, and so having a fast teleporter on the floor and one fast teleporter on the top, like, I don't know what that does for you, but like, for example, in that sense, it feels almost like a waste of space, whereas you can go to one of the desert biomes not the desert biomes, but there's like an area where I showed you I was getting my dig toys. That area doesn't really have a convenient teleporter spot, whereas other areas do. It really is a toss-up. So take in consideration these two options and do what you want, because I think it's just really cool that the devs allowed that. Even if it's experimental, even if you might have issues in your save, you can always turn it down, you can always turn it up, so it is what it is. I'm going to keep this at 4. For now, I think the vanilla is 4 on its prior updates. Or is it 3? I can't remember. Whatever. I think it's 3 actually. I think it might be 3. Okay, I'm gonna keep this to 3 for now, and then I'm gonna keep this to 20, 15. I mean, I'm not that big on using too many PALs at base. What I've considered is that maybe after I beat the tower bosses for myself and I'm playing this on my own accord, I'll go ahead and increase these limits because I don't mind. Although I'm kind of like on the edge of like, if I increase this, how badly will it crash my save if I really want to develop other bases? But at the same time too, this game is really early on, so I don't want to just add more things right now. Plus we're on this journey together and I feel like things are going really well. In fact, this episode is more an update of what I've been doing off screen. So anyways, we'll get to that in a bit. Just wanted to show you these settings. You know what? Why not just push this up to 20? It's not like I use all that that many pals in a base, to be honest. Let's just say we do 4, just for funsies. All right, there you go. We have 4 and 20, and then I'll just adjust this after we beat the tower bosses, and then I just want to have crazy fun with it. But there you have it. If you ever want to try out these settings for yourself, go on right ahead. Let me go ahead and show you what I've done so far in the game. Okay, so we are back at base, and I'll just show you the PAL box real quick, just to give you an idea of what has changed, what hasn't. So if you go to the base upgrade here, and yeah, I am using a keyboard again. I do apologize if you hear some clicking. I tried the controller for a bit, and while I do like using the controller, it's really difficult when you have auto aim as a mandatory, targeting on the controller, and it's difficult for me to use a controller in a lot of ways. And I know I've always said that I don't like using keyboard because I wear out my keyboard and mouse. But it is what it is. At any rate, here we go. We have a max number of bases of 3. I imagine if I hit 19 or 20, no, if I hit 20, it might give me all 4. But if I were to bring this up to 10 bases, you'll have increments to upgrade to. So there is still this sense of earning your base level and earning more max number of bases, but there you have it. Now, we do have a maximum level of 20 where we can add more pals to do things. For me, it just kind of gets to be like more of a clutter, because the thing is, your bases aren't very big and their bases are pretty restrictive. What I've done since then, however, in terms of just building, so I also explored more of the map, and I gotta say, it's really, the archipelago, in my opinion, is strangely designed. So I started to realize as I explored this area, this island, and then these islands, would you know it that these islands are considered the noob islands, this whole row here, yet you spawn right on top of here in the Plateau of Beginnings. And to get to these areas, to these islands, it is a trek. Like, it is not an easy journey to get to these islands. So, and then when you go to these islands, you see that there's a lot of low level, maybe not here, I don't think, maybe just here and here and here. There's a lot of low level enemies, and it's just, I don't know, it kind of took me aback, because I can't imagine what that's like. Because again, these areas are massive. The map is so big that there are areas where there are just no pals, spawn points. And I think a lot of that is just because, the game is just starting, and there's a lot of nooks and crannies that they're still working out, all the kinks and all that. But yeah, these are considered the starting zone. And then if you go down here, I mean, this area is where we fought the level 50 tower boss, right? Or level 40, I should say. Huge level spike. I mean, if you go down here, it's a level spike. If you go here to this island where I think you would naturally want to go to, that is a huge level spike. I think, I'm of the opinion that a lot of this has to be redesigned, and I think that's very much a possibility. I mean, crafting games, especially very early on, can take on a rebirth in terms of how they're designed. And I'm very hopeful that the dev team would listen to feedback and are willing to implement, suggestions and stuff like that. But yeah, like, these areas are, it's like whiplash when you think about, like, if I was starting off here in the Plateau Beginnings, and let's say this is all crowded, I guess the only option was to go to one of these islands, but they're so freaking far away. It is not an easy journey to get here. That said, I went over here to the Fisherman's Point because this is where I was able to spend all that gold that I showed you in the last episode. I'll just take you there and I'll show you why that Fisherman Point is just an incredible settlement to find. So if you are playing along, I suggest you make the journey. You get heat-resistant armor and you make your way to Fisherman's Point. Even if it takes you forever to get there on whatever mount you're using, should it be a Nightwing or anything, get the fast teleporter spot to Fisherman's Point, because with all the grinding you do when catching pals and then selling them and have that be your virtual economy for gold, go to this wandering merchant, the guy in the green, and go to buy here, and oh my god, will you look at this. Course ammo, assault rifle ammo, shotgun shells. I mean, he has the ammo you need, and if you can just use your gold just to buy ammo, it is so much better, because I was in the process, as you saw in previous episodes, in just creating and manufacturing ammo, and granted, I didn't have the best and most efficient base in the world, okay? I'll outwardly admit that. That said, the build chain to get ammo and to make ammo and the resources that's required to make ammo and as quickly as you dispense ammo can be, in my opinion, so tedious that I was like, I don't want that to be an infinite build chain for me. Maybe there's a merchant who sells ammo, and luckily enough, this merchant does. I actually wikied, like, where are the settlements in the world? Because I only found the small settlements. They pointed out to this settlement, and they didn't say what merchant sold what, but I was like, please let this merchant sell something. And he does. He sells ammo. I've been spending a lot of gold on there. I spent a lot of gold getting as much ammo as I want, and so for me personally, whenever I get gold from selling pals, my duplicates, when I level grind out there, all of my gold is dedicated to just buying ammo at this point. It just feels like the more efficient thing to do while I save my production line for more sophisticated products or production. So as you can see now, all my production lines are freed up, so I can start making things that I might immediately need, like high quality cloth or circuit boards. Speaking of which, we have pure quartz now. We did make a base, and I wanted to give a special thanks to someone who actually commented in one of my videos telling me about the quartz being in the snowy areas. Not so much here, although I did find it like on 1 or 2 nodes, but mainly in this area, which we did look over a bit. Now you saw that I had 3 of 3 for bases. I did make a base here. I will show you that in a second. I just want to give you an idea, having now spent all that gold for ammo. I mean, look at this. Assault rifle ammo, 3,000. Shotgun shells, 1,000. Oh, and we also got lucky because I got this weapon. I can just show you here. Not the single shot, but although it's legendary. I have no clue where I got this, by the by. Hold on, I'll just show you this thing right here. So I found this schematic, the musket schematic legendary, off of a drop. There was a drop and I just got lucky. I found that schematic. The musket was so helpful for me. It took forever to reload and it was a chore, but the ammo was easy to make and it had 2,000 damage, or it can output up to 2,000 damage. Let me just do this real quick to show you it. Took forever to craft because it was a legendary weapon. Here it is. 2,000 damage. It held me over for a long time. And then I got really interested in like the single shot rifles, and I was like, is there a modern variation of it? And I was like, yeah, I guess there is. A single shot rifle does 1,000, does 1,100 damage. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to stick with the musket despite the loading time, although the ammo is easy to make. And then I have no clue how I got this rifle. I don't. I think I was doing a lot of so what I was doing in the off screen as well was really fighting bosses, catching pals as you should be, just general grinding stuff. And then along the way, I found the schematic for the single shot rifle. It came in twos, and a pair of twos. It came in pairs. It came in twos, the schematics, just like the legendary musket did. And here we have the single shot rifle, which is extraordinary. That is something that I absolutely love, because what that does is that it economizes the kind of ammo that I'll be crafting. Now I know I'll only be really making shotgun shells. I'll only really be making rifle ammo. And speaking of shotgun, we did find a schematic one, an uncommon schematic to make a pump action shotgun. So we've been really fortunate there as well. But yeah, I mean, if you can find those drops, if you can just go on a grind and kill a lot of these pals or catch them, do so. I mean, you eventually get to this point where if you just keep grinding the bosses and you get, certain weapons, it can help you level up your pals. Now, it does take a while. There is a slider to increase XP gain in the custom world settings, but it just says experience gain. And what I found for me as I've been playing this game, experience comes easier for me as a character rather than for my pals. Now, that could be for a variety of reasons. That could be because I use one pal more than I use other pals. But I would say I'm very familiar with, I guess if you want to take Pokemon or even a Digimon game in consideration, there's ultimately a crew or a party of Pokemon, Digimon that you use constantly that help you all throughout your journey. What I've noticed in Pal World is that it is very much adaptable to what you need in the moment. So sometimes I'll just need pals with the Mercy trait. Sometimes I'll just need pals with a specific type, and then I pull those pals out. And in doing so, because you keep switching for whatever moment you need, your leveling for your pals take forever the levels of your pals take you a long time to get to where you want them to be, because you keep switching out pals, and then you just have this huge, you just keep having to level up different pals, and at one point you have to have a team ready to take on a new tower boss, which we will do in the next episode. I think I'm trying to plan this out where I just give you updates, and then we explore most of the desert biome and then get the Tower of the PIDF here. But yeah, but to summarize, I've been finding leveling up pals to be quite difficult, so that means like a lot of tower runs. However, leveling up my character, I'm level 51. I think the cap is level 55. Level 55 is the cap. So, I mean, I find leveling up myself to be quite easy versus the party, because as you know, like, you're constantly gaining XP versus the pals that you switch out. That said, I didn't want to increase the XP slider in the event that it affects the XP gain for both me and my pals. I would rather have an XP slider that affects separately your pals and an XP slider that affects you. Something similar to Ark. I believe Ark has a similar concept where you can affect how much. Yeah, I think Ark has that. Oh, I haven't played Ark in a while. I need to pop that game up. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, that's for that. Let me show you, due to the tip in the comment section, I was like, I'm going to look around. I'm going to have a look around in that snowy, dense area. And I found a couple of quart nodes, but interestingly enough, by the by, some of the quart nodes that I found were in areas that I've already traveled. I just didn't know what I was looking for, and I missed it. But then eventually I found I found multiple areas of concentrated quartz deposits. And this is where I decided to build my base. Am I going to get cold here? Let me put on the... Okay, so this is where I decided to build, because it's on top of an elevated space. But as you can tell, this is my barn area. This is my house, I guess. I've built the pal box here. It's a lot more reasonable. But here's all the quartz. There's actually more nodes, but they've been mining it. Let me go ahead and show you an aerial view. So yeah, these quart nodes are on a plateau or an elevated cliff here with some build space. So I decided to build here versus anywhere else, because you do have wandering pals that can be kind of a problem to deal with. Whereas here, it's incredibly defensible. I don't even think it's possible to be raided here, because there's just no area where they can climb. But yeah, this is where I'm getting quartz, and I'm turning that into the electronic parts. So yeah, these are pretty much the resources I've been gathering, and I've used all 3 of my bases, so I don't have a base in reserve. I did slide that up to 4, but I think I need to get that at level 20. But this is what I mean, I'm not too fond of the building gameplay in this game versus any other crafting survival game. I've made that known in previous episodes. But I think here, specifically in this game, it's really, really, really limiting. I know Enshrouded does something similar to this, but the difference between this game and Enshrouded when it comes to the build mode is that the build mode in Enshrouded is much more sophisticated with its voxel cube building, and also that you can expand the radius of your base. I would be very interested to know why they decided to go this route versus a route like something similar to Conan or Ark Survival Evolved or 7 Days to Die, I believe it's called. Like, there's just so many crafting games that let you be much more creative and flexible when it comes to base building, and this game doesn't. I wonder why. Maybe it's like a limitation to some degree, maybe with just how they're building this game, but I find it limiting in a sense where it's not helpful, because there's some games like Enshrouded where there are limitations in terms of building within its radius, but then there are exceptions, and then there are ways to really work with those limitations. This game has a lot of beautiful areas and a lot of incredible set areas that I think would make for really gorgeous, beautiful build areas and bases. But unfortunately, this game is really limited in its building system right now. I say that, by the by, I say that full knowing that this game is really, 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 really young. Okay, so I want to make that clear too. I'm not ignorant to that fact. So a lot of my complaints are just trying to get a handle of how I'm evaluating this game. It's just like, after all these hours, these are some things that I really, really like about it, and things that I think need improvement. But as a catch positive, like, I really am liking this game. I'm loving the concepts of this game now. A part of me was a little iffy, I will admit, in the very beginning when I first did a couple of hours, and I was like thinking, like, do I want to make a let's play of this? I don't know. Let me just throw out the first episode. Let's see how it's received, if anybody will even watch it. I'm very thankful and grateful that people have watched it and have shown their engagement and telling me to make more. Like, that was really heartwarming to me and really encouraging me to make more Let's Plays. And then as I started playing more, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm starting to really enjoy this game. So with all that said, I think that is pretty much it that I want to clue you in on. I think we can go ahead on our Arrakis journey. I tried mapping out more of this. This is a smaller area for like the fire, volcanic kind of pals that spawn in that. So many of the pals that spawn here is like high level pals. You might find there a smaller, lower level variant in this area here. Just a small tip. I've been finding a lot of fruit trees, been farming those a little bit. I know that there is here. This is the Jetragon, fastest mount in the sky, fastest mount in the game. I can't get it. I have tried, and I am nowhere near where I need to be able to challenge for the Jetragon. I could definitely try to find some huge dragon eggs and try to, hatch one for myself. But I've been looking. And I just haven't been that lucky. And I've definitely been saving this for you and I so we can explore this area together, as well as this. I'm leaving this largely untouched because that will be something we explore together in following episodes. What else? Again, these are beautiful, incredible build areas that you can't really make use of unless, one, you have the bases available to you. Or two, some of the areas are so vast that your PAL box's radius doesn't cover all that you would wish it would cover. Now here's the thing, like in the earlier options, I showed in earlier options that you can increase the amount of PAL boxes you can have in a game, right? I am tempted to do that every time. I am just arbitrarily keeping it at 3 for right now. If I find a base that I really, 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 really love and I just can't do without it, because I'm still looking for a full main base. This has turned into a main base, like a forever base, but I don't want it to be. Especially because my project of rebuilding the keep turned out not to be possible because the walls of the keep don't count as full ground, so you can't really build on there too well when it comes to building infrastructure. But I'm still really on the lookout for a forever base. If I find that forever base, I might make room for me to get another PAL box, because right now I'm using all three: one for quartz, one for coal and iron ore, and then one for the keep base. But at any rate, I think we're all good to go exploring in the Sand Dunes entrance. Give me 1 second, I'm gonna look over things real quick just to make sure I covered everything. Okay, so we're back at my keep base, and I just wanted to show you this too. This is my electric furnace. We have access now to craft PAL metal ingots and plasteel, which are two end game resources. And what I really like about these two, plasteel and the PAL metal ingot, irons, I guess you could call them, the metals, is that the material to make them is really streamlined. To make PAL metal ingot, all that's needed is ore and palladium fragments. And you've been using palladium fragments for virtually anything across the base, but ore is just like a common resource, and it's just, I love that it's accessible in that way. Now, plasteel is a little complicated, in which the next one that you'll need is crude oil, but we haven't gotten there yet. I've seen some oil spots, but I think you need to build a PAL box in that area and then build like an oil rig there. I think that's how it works. Again, I might consider increasing the amount of PAL boxes I can use in the world, but as for finding a sustainable amount of crude oil, I'm still unawares. But I just want to make a comment about how much I love how accessible it is to get plasteel, how ultimately accessible it is to make PAL metal ingot. And in case you were wondering, to make palladium fragments, it's just stone. And I mean, again, I've just been using this one Digtoise, to make this one Digtoise to make all the stone we need. So it's just, you find yourself that combination and you're pretty much good. Feel like we're good. Oh yeah, I had to build the PAL sphere assembly line out here because I destroyed it thinking that I could make the production line too, and then I realized I needed circuit boards. Now at the time I didn't have circuit boards and I already destroyed it, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna build a second production line. I use these quite a bit anyways, but then I was like, maybe I can hold out and not build a PAL sphere production line until I find my forever base. That never happened, so I was like, oh, I have to put down a Palosphere production line because I was running out of Palospheres. So I was like, okay, I'll just put it here. It looks awful, I know, but again, another reason to find a forever base. Okay, all that squared away. I want to thank you. If you're still watching, by the way, thank you. I know that was a long rundown, a lot of chatter, a lot of yapping from my big mouth. But if you're still here, thank you for sticking around. And now we will finally go to Paul Atreides' land and full-on Arrakis mode and just collect Electric Egg. But here we are. We are in Arrakis. We are in the desert biome. This is a level 50 area, I believe. I mean, I know the boss here is going to be level 50, but it'll be very interesting to see. Oh, look at that. Level 31. Robin Quill Terras. So there are a lot of variations that I am seeing for the pals here, you know, the Terras and the regular Robin Quills that we've seen in the other area. I really hope and I wish that they add evolution in the game like Digimon and Pokemon, because as you can see, there are a lot of pals that look adjacent, if not look like the transformed version of those pals, but for whatever reason, there's no evolution in the game, and I think one of the fun things... Ooh, I have never seen that one before. I think one of the fun things about Digimon or Pokemon, or even... What was the other one I played that was made by a Spanish company? Temtem! That's right, the game was called Temtem. So one of, like, you know, just any kind of creature capture game. Oh, Dinosome Lux. Okay. Any creature capture game, one of the more fun things to do is have evolution, you know? And I think it'd be really cool to see evolutions in this game. I find it really interesting why they opted out of it. Maybe the way to create evolution, or the way to make evolutions in this game would have been a little tricky, and maybe they just weren't ready for that right now in early access. But I really hope they implement a system like that, because as of right now, it feels a little clunky and a little like it just seems like there's a lot of pals that look the same or adjacent in the way that they look. That just sort of take up space, but are not like meaningfully standing out on their own, in the sense that like a lot of these pals seem to do the exact same thing as the other pal, just a different element type. And if you're just going to do something like that, it's almost like why even create that pal? You know, the rarer it is to see a certain type of pal, the better, in my opinion. I think if you're doing like more of, I don't know, I just prefer to have them like really stand out. I have very little reason to want to catch a Robin Quill Terra versus, you know, any other pal that's also of the same type, you know, despite them having a similar look adjacent to another Robin Quill. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. So what I like to do is I like to explore the shores first and then round all the way back in. That way I know everywhere to my right I can easily land like that and not have to worry about dropping in a dangerous area. And at the same time, I'm able to chart out how big the island is, as well as I can look inward just to see, you know, what lies ahead of us in the interior of the island. Very interesting that a lot of this terrain is super sloped. I expected more of a beach sort of look to it, but everything is just super sloped. And yeah, we have this area here as well. This area is kind of like the low-level areas again. I think there's a real mismatch in terms of the archipelago structure, in terms of levels and stuff like that. And again, there are just vast amounts of areas in this world that are just empty, like absolutely empty, even devoid of pals. And I'm just like, why? Like, I feel like the world is perhaps too big for its own good. Wow, Rayhound, these things look awesome. Like, you know how a lot of other crafting games out there right now with massive expansive worlds, or large maps I should say, how they take the opportunity to start in a large map, but they do so in that the map is large enough where there's a lot of things to do in it, but it's not too large where there's just like empty space or conceptual empty space where you're just saying to the player like, don't worry, we promise to build here, nothing exists here yet. This game takes the opposite approach. It just has a vast amount of world, a vast amount of land, and then areas where it's just completely empty. And you're like, why did you even bother including this in the game? You know, like, it doesn't seem to make any sense to me. because it just means everything is travel time is just a lot longer than it needs to be. But anyways, so I don't like playing these games on multiplayer so much. I do like taking my time, as you know, as throughout my playthrough, but I'm very curious what this game would be like on multiplayer in terms of its massive map, you know? Like, there's just so much space, and I'm very curious how people build here, because, again, your base doesn't... Ooh, what's that? Your base doesn't take a lot of space, but the map has tons of space to build on. Very curious what that's like. And what's over there? Oh, I already found it. It's an arena entrance. Oh, okay, yeah, I know what that place is. We have the Suzuku here, level 42. Oh man, yeah, this is a high level area. I don't know why. I expected this to be less mountainous. I expected more like open, wide desert expanse. But it does seem, from the looks of it, that this is much more of a hilly, mountainous, rocky area. Alright, so it doesn't seem like too much is happening right now. I'll go ahead and check back in with all of you if I find something cool. But my goal for now is just to circumnavigate the globe. Now, circumnavigate the desert biome and see if I can find any fast teleporters on the exterior and get some of these Lifmunk effigies. So if I see anything more interesting than that, we will jump right into it. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, I have a Ragnahawk. I have a Ragnahawk. It's faster than the Hazel dark bird, although that bird looked awesome. We have a faster mount now. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. You find this bird in the volcano area. Wow, look at this. So this is a lot of flat terrain right over here. You could build your base here. Not sure why you would want to. I suppose you're far away from everyone else, so maybe it's good for multiplayer in that way. But it's so far away from a lot of good resources. See, like, there's Nightwings here. Level 35 Nightwings. Like, why would you ever want that Nightwing? Like, why not just go for a low-level Nightwing and then fight your way to that level, which would be pretty easy to do, honestly, when you do a lot of the tower bosses. But, yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, just copied variations of the same PAL, or in this case, the same exact PAL, just in this area. That could be attributed to the fact that they don't have that many PALs in the game right now. But, I mean, they know that, right? Again, the game is still in early access, and there's still a lot to change in this game. I'm really tempted to go after these Rayhounds right now, because I do want an electric type. I have my Beacon, who is my electric type that I'm using right now, but it looks way too similar to Ragnahawk. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep you. I like having, like, diversity in my pals as well. You know what? Let's try to capture these Rayhounds. So I'm just gonna ride my... What in the world? How am I missing? I feel like I'm at point blank. Okay, there we go. Oh, do I have my Mercy Ring on? I do, good. Gonna do that. There we go. And then I'm gonna throw my Pal Sphere. Perfect, I missed. Nice, there we go. Do that. I think we're okay, actually. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. Whoops. As you can tell, I mean, it is a skill issue, but I'm also trying to get used to my keyboard controls. And I'm also trying to do this mounted. Normally I would be doing this on foot, but I've soon found out that it's actually to my benefit to want to catch these pals while mounted, or at least hunt these pals while mounted. Alright, so we have a noble here, and then what are you? Pacifist, so not good. I forgot what the first one was, I didn't actually look, but let's do a little quick read on the PAL deck. The reason why I never went to the PAL deck before in prior episodes is because I was using controller and it was just too much of a hassle to go through too many of the menus here. But now that I'm on mouse and keyboard, it's easier. So a Rayhound at full speed can be mistaken for a bolt of lightning. The two Rayhounds collide, or if two Rayhounds collide, the sound is like a powerful thunderclap. It only generates electricity, which level 2, which is pretty good. And I will say, because if it's smaller hitbox, might be worth it. Although I do have spark kits, and while they only have level 1 electricity generation, they have the artisan and the workaholic traits, which I'm really fond of. So yeah, and I don't use that much electricity on my base right now. Perhaps when I find my forever home, I'll need to have that. What is... Oh, it's the Nightwing that's sparkling. We're gonna say no to that one. I know it's a shiny, like literally a shiny, but I'm not gonna bother right now. Like a shiny Nightwing, I'm just at level 52 doesn't feel like something I want to do, to be honest with you. There's a lot to this world, this island. This island's huge, but as you can see, you know, there's just again empty expanses of nothingness here. Is that an oil node here? It is. I imagine you need to build a PAL box here and then claim this for yourself. I think that's how that works. Wow. I would love to... Is it hot here, like extreme heat? Let's see. If I take this off, will I take damage? I don't seem to be taking damage. It's hot here. The reason why I wanted to test that out was because I was curious if I'll always need like heat-resistant armor. Rayhound. Let's try to catch these. Since I've already started catching them, it might as well be... Oh, gotta wear my armor. Might as well start trying to get that XP bonus, you know? Try to do that there. Gotta load. And do this. Take to the skies. Just circle around. So what I like to do is I like to try to shoot them and then get them down to like 1 HP, and then that's when I start throwing my my PAL spheres. Especially because I don't like the way your bird descends. I'm just not a fan. It feels very clunky and tough to maneuver. So I like doing everything at one time. And what I mean by that is like the descent. Oh, that's a Robin Quill. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Don't come after me. We've already made headway in trying to catch this pack here. The last thing we need is Robin Quills ruining that. There we go. Oh, there we go. That was not what I wanted to do, but okay, we'll take it. Okay, we got a bunch of them. I'm not even sure of their traits. Okay, we got them all. Cool, we got the entire pack. I think we got 8 there? Okay. Yeah, I'm not down for the Robin Quills. They're actually pretty hard to fight, the Robin Quills. It's because they do a lot of damage and their cooldown is pretty quick. And if they're at a higher level, I didn't really see, but I imagine that they're at a higher level. Again, more empty space here. Like, what's the deal, you know? And I think this is just regular rock, right? Like, this isn't anything special, is it? Yeah, it's just stone. Anyways. Okay, so back to the main island interior, I suppose. I'll check back in with everyone if I find something pretty cool. I feel like, since I'm mounted, I feel like those boar hunters that ride helicopters to hunt, wild boars. It's kind of like an interesting feeling to be trying to get pals while mounted in the air like this. Okay, so it looks like we're rounding off to the tower of the PIDF. We're gonna go ahead and go here and grab some of the fast teleport spots just because we're already here. Okay, we're here. Yeah, see, there's 2. I don't know why. Is someone actually gonna walk here and only use that fast teleportation spot versus using that one? I mean, come on, let's be real. If by this point you're not mounted, how in the world are you this far ahead? You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure there probably is, right? There's someone doing a challenge, no mounting. Anything. Oh my goodness, come on. Why is that so difficult? Okay, there we go. If you see me do this every now and then with the camera, it's because I am playing on windowed mode, and there is no option to lock your mouse cursor to the window, unfortunately. So sometimes my mouse does drift and interact with other things on my desktop, but that's neither here nor there. We're at the tower, and it seems like, yeah, there's a lot more to explore. Okay, I'll check back in with you if we find something cool, aside from the pals that are here. I mean, a lot of these pals are pretty much what we've seen in the desert biome, if not just different iterations of them, like the Robin Quill Terra, I mean. At any rate, continuing on. Oh, there's a fast teleporter on there, right over there. Whoa, what is that? See that? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and... Well, we're circling back, right? So maybe we'll run into that, what looks to be a settlement. We can go there as well. I did see in the wiki that there is a settlement here, but the wiki is kind of dated, to be honest. Oh, there's an effigy there. Should I grab it? I should grab it. Yeah, the wiki is kind of dated, so they said there wasn't too much in the desert settlement, but we'll check it out anyway and see what they have to offer. Whoa, look at that. That Syndicate gunner is huge. It's just a big guy with a big gun. Man. Oh, what's attacking us? Oh yeah, all these discount Zapdos. No, they look like the Ragnahawks, just yellow. Again, another thing where I'm just like, I don't like it. I'm just not fond of it. Sorry, folks. Like I was saying last time, just giving them a different color, a different shade of color, I think is just a little uninspired. But I mean, again, there's much to love about this game, but it's moments like that where you're just like, I really hope they change a lot of that. All right, so we got that fast teleportation spot. So far, we haven't completed our circumnavigation of the map of the desert biome. Ooh, oh, Surfer Terras. Interesting. But yeah, this place is massive. Oh my god. So you have these Fuddlers, right? They're level 31. Like, why would you even want to get those if you can go to a low-level dungeon and find a bunch of Fuddlers? You know what I mean? Again, it's just one of those things where I feel like anytime you go into an island, an unexplored, difficult, challenging zone or biome, there should be an incentive for you to find like pals that you've never seen before that look really interesting and cool and have all sorts of abilities that would either be locked off to you in earlier islands. I feel like games that have that kind of progression, that offer that kind of progression, are a lot more in tune to a game loop that is all about, we're out of food. Oh gods, we're out of food. A game loop that keeps you coming back for more. Anyways, we need to find a way out of here. I guess I could fly back. Yeah, we'll fly back. Oh, I hate doing that because it makes me feel like I'm going backwards. You know what? There's got to be something here. Maybe, okay, let's open up this chest. Okay, sometimes you can find food in chests. Not today. I suppose I could try to kill something, but I don't know if they drop meat. Oh my god. Ooh, there's an effigy over there. So it looks like there's a battle overhead as well. Oh my god, who's fighting who over here? Oh, is it the Digtoys, or who's fighting what? It looks like they're shooting each other. Are the Syndicate gunners fighting each other? They are. Why? Is one of them an imposter? Is one of them being a sussy baka? What a weird turn of events. Oh, you know what? They're not even doing damage to each other. I don't think they are fighting each other. Are they? Wait, are they fighting these guys? What's going on? Is there like an enemy that's phased to the ground and that's what they're attacking and they're not doing any damage? This game. This is what I mean when I say that this game still needs a lot of work. I mean, we all know that, but it's silly incidents like that take you out of the immersion. It's fun to see them fight, though. Like, I can't wait till they add quest lines and stuff like that. I was reading some of the I was reading some of the NPCs' dialogue in the Fisherman town area, and a lot of them were talking about how in the tower they like worship the volcano to a degree. And there's like this new person who's there and they're causing trouble and they're wondering what they're up to. And I was just thinking to myself, like, how cool would it be to just see much more plot and depth and stuff like that? Because this game, in terms of that, in terms of lore, I think has a lot of opportunity to really showcase its talents, if you will. Where am I going to... Ooh, Palladius. Oh, man, my pals are hungry. I'm hungry. Things are tough here. Things are really, really difficult. Level 50s. 55s, actually. Oh, boy. And my pals aren't ready for it. I mean, the only thing I can think of is, aside from just catching a bunch of pals, is to just level grind. And that'll take a while. I also hate how interaction is E, but like dismount is E as well. It's the worst thing in the world. Oh man, my pals are starving. Oh, the Ragnahawk is losing HP. I think this Ragnahawk's gonna die. Oh my god. There's just nowhere to teleport. Like, there's no teleporters anywhere. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I think my... Oh, jeez. Okay, hold on, hold on. We're gonna have to dismount. We're gonna use my beacon, because my beacon just ate, so... my beacon will be alive, at least, to get me from point A to point B. I'm very curious, when they starve, they get knocked out, right? Or do they, like, die for good? Who's to say? Who is to say? I've never had a starved pal before, but we are in a very bad position. At the same time, I just didn't stock up on food like I should have. I just completely forgot, to be honest. Okay, so there's this small settlement. We're gonna go to that settlement. I say small settlement, but it's a settlement. I have no idea if it's small or not. But in that area, there should be a warp. Gotta be. Has to be. Oh my god, we're stuck in the trees. Oh, it's perfect. Love this for us. Oh, come on. Get out, get out, get out. Oh, come on. Okay, if I use my sword, what happens? Can I use my sword? Oh my god. Get us out of here, please. Get us out of here. Okay, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in a tree. We will call... Nope. Not what I wanted to do. Okay, dismount. That's what I want to do. Call you back. Run out of here. Get out. Get away from me, tree. Get away from me. Now I'm like overcumbered. And I gotta ditch things. I'm on the run. Have to make it to that town. Although this game, I am fighting with its functionality right now. Okay, I don't even think we completely No, we didn't finish this half of the map, but whatever, we gotta go. Want to feed my pals. I don't even think I have enough food, to be honest. At any rate, here we are, wherever R is. What is this place? This is so cool. Can you imagine, like, oh, it'd be so cool to build a base like this and stuff like that. So we're at a stand right in front of its damn gates. Can you believe it? Okay, so we're here, and there's gotta be a teleporter around here, right? Gotta be. Gotta be, gotta be, gotta be. Wow, a lot of merchants. There is a... diary here. Some palladium, it looks like there. I'm not gonna check in with them just yet. I want to look for a teleporter, because that's what's most important right now. I need to get an aerial view, because I'm not finding anything here. What in the world? Where is the teleporter? Do you guys not have a teleporter here? What's going on? I know it's a massive egg, but... Oh, here we go. Wow, the orange really blends in well with the dunes. That's what I mean, the descent takes forever, you might as well just jump off. Okay, we're gonna head back to base, I'm gonna feed my pals, and then we'll explore this area in earnest. I guess when you really look at this desert island, it is gigantic. It is bigger than this island. It's like the size of... It's like this. It's like two of these islands together. My pals are just not equipped for that. And speaking of which, let's check out the dog electric types just to see if we caught anything good. They kind of remind me of like the African wild dogs. So we got clumsy, noble, pacifist. A lot of these we're gonna sell. Serious, I guess we could keep. I think what I'm gonna do is use our Greyhounds here for the electricity. Work slave, great. Motivational leader, Vanguard. I guess Vanguard would be okay to use as a player attack. Iffy. I'm not a big fan of Vanguard. We got Philanthropist, fit as a fiddle. So this is interesting in that, yeah, fit as a fiddle. So you have max stam. I don't know if you can ride a Greyhound. I doubt it. They look pretty small. But Hooligan is nice for attack. And then Cold-Blooded for ice damage. Never mind. You know what would be kind of cool is like Serenity, Ferocious, Hooligan. Now that would be a crazy damage dealing pal. Got Philanthropist, Destructive, Vanguard. Okay, let's check out the other ones here. Sadist, Insulated, Blood of the Dragon, Easygoing. Okay, we did not get lucky for a fighting pal at the very least. Alright, so it's a very beautiful area. So I imagine this merchant here. The red one is your basic low-level merchant, right? Oh, never mind. He sells earth skills and like fruit. Okay, he sells high quality pal oil. Cool. And meds and Megasphere. Ugh, I can't imagine Megasphere being any kind of useful this late in the game. Or at this high of a level anyway. Now you have this merchant. Do you sell ammo? You do sell ammo. Okay, so this is where you can go to buy ammo in this area. And then we have a PAL merchant. Let's see what he has to offer anyway. Nah. We do have a PAL merchant here. I could have sworn I saw like a fourth vendor around here. Was it just me? Yeah, I suppose so. There is treasure there, but I doubt it's anything special. Oop, getting stuck. Getting stuck in the world. Course ammo, silver key. What do you got to say? Now here's an unfamiliar face. First time in the desert, some friendly advice. Prepare for some intense heat if you're going to be here. Rumors say there's a legendary pal living somewhere in the desert. There's a never-ending stream of fools who stroll deep in the desert, never to be seen again. I'm not fond of reckless pal tamers, but how about you? I'm going to take on the desert. Don't fall into the same rut. Make sure you're well prepared. Here, take this. You'll make use of it. Thanks for that, I guess. But yeah, some of these NPCs will actually give you trash items. No, they'll actually give you items, so I wouldn't say it's worth it to talk to them, but it is fun to get some lore out of it. And you will get, you know, something out of it, I suppose. Let's pick up this egg. Huge scorching egg. I suppose that's it. I mean, aside from some NPCs scattered around, that pretty much sums up this area. Let's circle around here and see if we can uncover more of the map, and then after that, we'll call it an episode. I know this one was a really chill episode. Again, for me, at this point, I just wanted to show you around some more, give you an idea of what I do on the daily. Now, give you an idea of what I do as I play through Palworld. And as we journey to new unexplored areas. Next episode will really pick up steam because that's where we're going to be level grinding. Well, we're not going to level grind next episode. I will be doing that off screen. But next episode, we will be taking on the Tower PDIF boss in hopes of beating it. Oh, there was an effigy right there. Oh boy. Anyways, yeah, we'll take on the boss next episode because I think we need a ways to go. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a pretty difficult fight. And I still haven't found a base that I really like, you know? It's one of those things. I haven't found a base, a forever base. Okay, while these pals are asleep, I do want to hunt them. It's almost always better to hunt pals while they're asleep, to be honest. Because you get that sneak attack damage and you get to catch them one by one. Oh my god. They are not giving, huh? I have hyperspheres and they're not working. 13% as well, so yeah, it's gonna be a hard capture. I guess I really should have been doing this one-on-one. Oh, they have Ferocious here though, which is nice. It was once believed that they ushered in the dry season? Huh? Oh wow, these PAL spheres are not doing the job. They're hyperspheres, and I have a pretty high capture rate right now. I mean, in the sense that I've been upgrading using the Liftmonk effigy, and still nothing here. We're at 12-13%. I mean, granted, I should be using higher end PAL spheres at this point, but you wouldn't think that hyperspheres would be this poor, would you? I mean, the merchant was selling, the merchant was selling those green spheres, so that's even a less of a tier than I'm using. There we go. But that's what I mean, like, the merchant was selling the green PAL spheres, right? But obviously the PALs here are at a much higher level that they wouldn't succumb to that. So I'm just kind of like, why even offer that in this area? Shouldn't that merchant be selling hyperspheres instead, or even the higher level spheres? Who in their right mind would be in this biome buying the low quality spheres? Like, I just don't understand that. At any rate, again, this game is at its infancy. There's a lot to develop here, so don't want to beat a dead horse or anything, but it is just odd, definitely odd, in terms of progression and items available to you as you progress. Ooh, a fruit tree. Nice. So I just went to the plateau of this area and I found a skill fruit tree. But aside from that POI, I think that's about it to discover around here. We we explored the perimeter of the desert biome. All that's left here is now the interior, which we kind of saw from a distance, and there wasn't too much here. There probably is, and I'll be able to find I'll be able to find more of that on my own time. And maybe find a forever base here. Not sure. I'll have to give this place a good look over before I decide on that. In any case, we'll save the fighting of the boss in the next episode because I do want to have at least one pal at level 50. Kitsune is the closest, but it is a fire type. I'm not too sure what to expect here. Oh no, wait, Warhorn. Warhorn is the closest. But yeah, we will take on the tower boss in the next episode. So I want to thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate that, and I appreciate you, and I hope to see you in the next one, whatever the next one may be. So until then, I will see you then. Bye for now. Where are we at with this? Oh boy. a lot to explore, but that's okay. We explored the perimeter, and we've seen pretty much to do. We've seen all that we could here. I mean, I guess you could build a base here as well on top of this plateau area. I mean, there's some rocky areas, very little flat ground, but there's oil, there's coal here. Wow, I'm very tempted. I am very tempted to get another PAL box and just have resourced areas scattered around the world. Tempted. I just might. We'll see what I'm in the mood for. At any rate, I'll see you next one. Bye for now.